Testing 1, 2, 3. I think we're live. Hold on, let me turn down this background music. Okay, so yeah, my CPU is running at like 28%. Yesterday I was running at like 70. It was not good. It was very slow and laggy. So I was about to eat lunch, but then I was like, let's just hop on the charts real quick because I don't want to be here forever. So for the RSI, we have to be able to measure, right? So I can only go back like 2 days. The second you start seeing zeros is as far back as I can go. So 1 second, where is, okay, I just have to make sure you can even see. So first we're gonna get rid of this one at the bottom because that one is less important at this current point. So we're gonna scroll all the way back to probably somewhere in Thursday. Here's Thursday. I think that's as far back as we can go without it being okay, yes. So the second you start seeing zeros, I don't know, you can't see the zeros, but see right here. So 1 second. So you see where price is right here. No, 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 no. So like price right here is at 17:05 and 15 seconds. But if I go back here, price is at 15:36, no seconds, 0 seconds, 0 seconds, 0 seconds, 0 second. So we can only go to where price stops saying 0 seconds, which is literally when we opened right here at 7. And now we have like 1 second, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm going to be counting basically is when RSI is overbought or oversold, and then when we have a crossover right here. Yes, when we have a crossover, you enter after the crossover. Literally, that's all I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to pull up our favorite, not really, but pull up our favorite Google Sheets. Let me just pull up one that I already have, and then I'll go from there. Yikes, look at all that information. Okay, let me just bring this over here so you can see it. Yeah, I warmed up a burrito, but it needs to cool. So yeah, we were looking at what, 71%, but because it had, look at our equity curve. This is 126 trades, and our equity curve is absolutely garbage. Like, just garbage. So even though because it has a negative risk to reward, even though it's a 71% win rate, the losses completely destroy that. And we just were flat for like a month or so. Was this a month of trades? No, it's not. Well, no, this is October, end of October, all of November, and half of December. That's like 2 months. I think I just didn't update this. This is like 2 months of data. Maybe not quite 2 months of data, 126 trades, but yet your equity curve is at 3,600. That's not a profitable strategy, even though 71% sounds good. Okay, so let's go back here. We'll create a new chart. We'll just call this one. Okay, so we'll just title this if it loads. Oh boy, that's annoying. Okay. It's like loading everything. It's really slow. Okay. Trades. It doesn't matter what I call it. All right, and it'll be this, literally this simple. I'll be, say, does not look like a word. Okay. Treads and wins. That's what we're going to say. And then any notes. I don't know if we'll put notes. Okay, so we're just gonna start counting back from Thursday. Yeah, we'll just start counting back from Thursday. What day is that? Hold on, let me make sure I have the day correctly. So this is going to be starting on the 5th of February. Okay, so 2, 5, no, Feb 5, 2, and then I don't know when we'll stop, but we'll just say starting February 5th. Okay. Okay, let's go. Let's start counting. Okay, so right here we were overbought, and then we get this right here. This was all within a couple of seconds. Yeah, because you get this one, it doesn't quite get you there. This one does. I mean, that's technically when you would sell, but this was all within a minute. I'll say 1 and 1. Let's just, okay, so now we're over sold. So this is your entry. So this one, after this one, so that's 2. Well, here's another instance right here. That will be 3, but you only get 1 brick. Then we have another one here. This would be 4. This one crossed, but then it didn't. That's a weird one. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Let me write our numbers down first. 4 and 4. Okay, so we're at this one. This one we did get across. Okay, there was no entry, and you want to know why? Here's why. Because this all happened, well, maybe there was an entry. This would have happened within a second. It would have gone to here, would have ran up, and then came back down. I don't think you might have gotten an entry. So I'm going to say this was a bad one. Let's go 5. Can't be biased just because you didn't want to take it. So we'll say 5. Okay. Well, that was that one. Okay, so now we're here. So then that's another win. So that's 1. Okay, this is where it gets dicey. This is 2. This is when you start seeing kind of some divergence happening as we come down, but we pull back up. This is where it's gonna have to get a little bit more technical when we start looking at divergence, but I really want to focus on divergence. So what is that, Lizzie? That's 2. Okay, here we did cross. That is a loss. So let me go do 2. Hold on. So we add 2 more trades. That's 7 and 2 wins. So that's 6. But then we have a loss right here. So that is, well, is that even a trade? Let's see. Yeah, that's a trade. Okay, so we have a loss. So that's another trade, but it's a loss. Okay. Then we have this one. This is a win. So we have 1 for a win. Okay, this is where it gets interesting as we're buying up. Okay, so we're overbought. This would have been your sell, so we have Did I add that one win? Did I? No, I did not. Okay, let me go add that real quick. This is why I wanted to create I got like the code, sorry, 9 and 7. I wanted to create a I wanted to create like a code that automatically counts for each day so I don't have to go back and count them. Okay, so now let's start counting up these losses. So here's a loss, 1, and then it's 1 loss. That is 2 loss. That is 3 loss. And that is 3 losses. That's technically a win. And then another win. So that's 3 losses and 2 wins. Okay, so that's 5 trades. So that's 14. Hold up. Sorry, how was I saying? Okay, yeah, it's 5 trades. And 2 wins. 9. Okay. See, some of these are good and it's just not good, you know what I'm saying? So this one, this one would have been a difficult one to get in. It's 5 seconds. 1, 2, okay, then nothing, nothing, nothing. Some of these are good, they're just nothing. Okay, here's one. So that's 2. And then let's count up the losses. So 1, I would say this is a loss. That's 1. Okay, that's just 1. Hold up. So that's 17. Okay. Then this one was decent. This one was good. So we have 1, 2. Oh, wait, what is that even? Oh, yeah, 1, 2, 3. So look at that beautiful divergence. Well, this one would have been a no trade, and I'm gonna just mark it as a no trade because I don't know. Maybe you could have gotten in, but this is pushing it like a lot. Like if you had a split second entry, just say 3, but I highly doubt this one. 3, 4. This one would have probably been a loss. Okay, hold up. So yeah, 5 more. So right off the bat, I'm gonna be noting some things. Sometimes it runs down too fast. Other times it there's divergence before the pullback, it's not enough. And sometimes it doesn't come up all the way, like here, and then it perfectly comes down. There's a lot of instances where it doesn't have to be overbought like here, for example, we bought a couple of times. Yikes. I don't even know what that is. That would be two. One of them good. Okay. I just want hard numbers. I'm gonna say that one was bad. I don't even know what the heck that is. Some of these do sell, but they chop, you know. 1, 2. Like here, it technically didn't cross over. No, it didn't cross over till. Because right here, no, this was your cross. And then it would have been bad. So so one bad, this one, then it crossed here, too bad, and then you didn't catch any of those as we come up, up and up and up. So that's too bad. And then we got a big one, this one. So that's too bad. One good. This one just barely. Let me go write that down. Okay, this one crossed here, bad. Then yeesh, there was really no entry there, but that I still have to count it. 3, bad, good. Then we get choppy, bad, bad. What is that? 3 bad, 1 good. Just noticing a pattern here. Major pattern, big pattern. Um, 2 good, 3 bad. It's just barely. 3 good, 3 bad. Eh, okay. 4 good. This one like was right on the line. And then 3 good. Senator 4, 5, 6. Hold on. Okay, so far over the course of 2 days, there would have been 56 trades. Not that we're taking all of these, with a 67% win rate. That's only counting a single brick as a win. Um, so like I was saying right off the bat, the biggest issue I'm seeing, and it's the same issue with anything RSI related, is if the market keeps buying and buying or selling and selling, what do you have? You have it stays overextended, and so if you're entering on those flips, they're not going anywhere. In cases like these, right? Unless there's like some extreme divergence that's happening, we can go in with a little bit more caution. A little bit more caution. Again, that's 56 trades, 38 wins, 67%, which that number doesn't sound great, obviously. But some of those trades, like, okay, some of them should probably would not have happened at all, um, because of how quickly it moved. There were no actual opportune entries. But the reason why I didn't count them is because I have to look at it from a realistic perspective. Okay, if I had happy trigger fingers, maybe I would have entered, right? And then what could have been a win might have turned into a loss, or what would have been a loss, depending on where I entered, might have turned into a win. So I'm just going based off of hard numbers, not practicality. Also, um, that's where we have to add some more context and confluence, right? Because we can't just look at it and be like, oh, it's overbought, it's oversold. In some instances, the market may stay overbought and continue to stay overbought, um, and just because it's overbought doesn't mean it's gonna continue selling. That's gonna cut out a lot of those losses, is by determining, no, I'm gonna stay out of this market because yes, it's overbought, um but there's still a lot of buyers, right? There's still a lot of buyers, and this is something that we have to look at in real time. Who's in the market at the time, instead of just, hypotheticals and, oh, this looks like it would have been good. Sure. uh yeah, also looking at trades as they have confluence with this. For example, here we were oversold there, but we weren't right here, even though this crossover would have been nice. It actually was nice. Um, and there's something else to consider, right? If we've created a line and we get a crossover, even if this didn't go, right? So then let's just look at that. Um, it's gonna be not super long. Also, for example, right here, we have our oversold. This didn't create an oversold, but it did right here. Um, and then you get a crossover. Is that a crossover? No, it isn't. I mean, you're not yet. This is your crossover. Then you get a crossover. You have this line. Buy. Okay, here's one. Just go with me on this. So when we have this one, so this one we got an overbought, but this was technically already saying buy. So saying buy back, no, it was saying sell back here. Um, and it was still saying sell, and it never said buy. It never said buy. Um, yeah, it didn't say buy till like right there. So looking at that will also play into it just a little bit. For example, we're oversold. We never oversold. We were never oversold here, but then we came up, down, up. We finally got a crossover right here, and it corresponded with buying here, and then it bought. So that's also another thing that we can look at, is only instances where we were overbought or oversold on this, and then look at how that relates to our RSI over here. So I'm gonna do that, but first I'm gonna eat a little bit of lunch and I will be back. Okay. Oh, Pop. Eh, eh. Okay, I'm trying to not run over his tail. Okay, so just had like a breakfast burrito, even though it's like almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But yeah, I'm just had a breakfast burrito and some guac in the burrito. It kind of elevated it to new levels. Okay, so the next thing I want to look at is instances where, let's go back to instances where we're only overbought and oversold on this, and we've created a new line. So I'm gonna be scrolling all the way back to. Ugh, do I have to go back to Thursday? Oh, fine. I'll go back to Thursday at was it midnight? Okay, we'll start there. Now, scroll all the way back. Thursday, 11, 11. Oh, it was at 7. Okay, that's where it was. It was right here. My bad. See, it was not even that long, but for some reason. Eesh. Okay, so let's go back here. Here we go. Thursday. All right, so we're only counting instances where we're overbought and oversold. Um, on here first. So here's your first instance. Let's go there. Okay, so this is where you have your oversold. This is where your line crosses right here as we're buying up from this. So let me start one more trades, wins, and percent. Okay, now let's keep going. Okay, so here is another instance where we're extremely well oversold here, and then you get your crossover here. That's 2. This one would not have been 1 because it's already buying. This one, let's see. See, this is what muddies the water because you have to wait for the candle to close and then it turns into a whole thing. Okay, like for example, we're buying up here. So this is flat. You want to wait. Okay. And then you'd buy after this line's already formed. I don't know. I don't know. 1 second. And then here's another instance where we sold. Pup, are you okay, buddy? Pop up, what's the matter? Hey, buddy. What's good, guys? What happened? You okay? Okay, so this instance, over, blah, 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 here, but this one doesn't start forming until you're like somewhere in here after this is already started to break away. But your problem is always the problem. I don't know. That's what I'm saying is because there's no oops, because there's no um hard rules, like for example, okay, that you can clearly see a line that formed. So let's go find it right somewhere. Not yet. Okay, here we go. So right here, we bought up, we bought up, we bought up. This is where we started selling down, right here. But this line wouldn't have formed yet. It would have formed after this candle closed, and then it would have formed on this candle. So that means price is already all the way down here. So are you really entering all the way down here? Probably not. You see the problem. And then there's some, it's like, you get a cross and buy, cross and sell. And it looks so, so calm. Like it looks like it should be that easy. But then you get the moments where it just starts chopping. And then it's like, oh, never mind. Like here, this is a significant distance, right? The distance 64 to 61 versus here, the distance was like point something. Or here, the distance, maybe the distance here, the distance was like 1 point something. Here, the distance was greater. This one, no. This one, I don't know. Maybe you wait for the distance. I don't know. Some of these just kind of went without warning. I mean, like, there was no feasible place to enter. See, that's the difference when you're trading with the the MACD. Everything was lagging, everything was behind. You were seeing momentum before it happened. This one becomes more difficult because you're getting momentum as it's happening, and so getting clean entries becomes harder because sometimes price just goes boom and there was no entry, right? Sometimes it's seconds and there was no real good entry. So all of this needs to be done in real time. As far as Top Step go is concerned, my thing does not reset until, goodness, yeah, it doesn't reset until when the 16th, and it's the 8th, and I need to continue trading this account. I mean, I need to continue trading. So, as unfortunate as, why is it $116 to reset? I don't know, it's weird. Yeah, I think because um if I were to do, I don't know, I'm not going back to Apex mainly because Apex has too many just ridiculous rules that it's just like, no, it's just not, it's not worth my time. I hate their platform. Yeah, I hate Apex. 116, I knew it was like not, it's 80 something, right? It should be. Apparently the reset is higher than the fees. Who the heck knows at this point? Um, I don't know, but I have to reset the account. I mean, I could buy a new one. Doesn't really matter. Just hit reset and oops. Okay. Resetting. Yep. Goodness. Processing, processing, processing. Oh, look, it just said reset really fast. Okay, so our reset's done. It doesn't matter. So when I'm trading this, I'm going to be focusing on, instead of size, going in with um yeah, because at this point, if I don't pass, I'm literally okay. The dumb thing is, if you do the standard with the activation fee and you pass in one try, it'll run you probably like $100. If you do the no activation fee, but you need a reset, it's gonna cost you, like, it's already costing me more than another one, which is ridiculous. So if I have to get another account, I won't reset this one. I'll just get the other one and do it with the $50 instead of the, because at that point, because if I need that many, I should not need another reset. But sometimes you do need a reset on an account. And this was one of them. Um, but anyways, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really matter, because we're gonna be going in, we're not gonna be maxing contracts and all of that. I just want to get a feel for what I'm looking for and what I'm doing, as far as, because context matters so much. And ultimately, here's the deal. Ultimately, I need some other context other than the market being overbought or oversold. You know how I'm using the let's go pull the chart up again. You know how I'm using the mornings, right? So let's go to Friday morning, okay? How we're waiting for our break, right? This was your break right here. And then if you go, this was Friday. Let's go to Friday. Here we go. Friday. Okay. Yep. Here's your Friday. Right here. Overbought, overbought, sell, clean, sell. Um, After a break of structure. Um, and then there was another oversold that came back into the zone. And where did that happen? Right. Let's see if we can find it. Right here. Oversold. There's where you buy. Oversold. I think, except for it's selling. This, and then it was oversold again right here. And then this is where you buy. So there's definitely, yeah, there's definitely something to be had. For example, right here, oversold again, right there. And then right here, this is where you buy. And then we became overbought. So, maybe I still do what I do. I wait for the market to break, because all of this was outside. I think all of this was outside the range. Yeah, this was the top of this was the top of the range. And I can only speak for literally to Friday, because it's just that there's no other. So, for example, if I'm just looking at Friday, like just looking at Friday after a break, a pre-market structure. Oh wait, there was this too right here. Your sell, exactly. There was a sell right here and then a buy right there, which technically was kind of good, but if I waited for a break of structure, all of these were good. All of these were good. Like just waiting for the crossover, even while this was just oversold. Like again, right here. See, it became oversold right there. Not here, but you wait for a crossover. And it became oversold here, but it was already selling. And it never crossed until we became oversold again. And then you get that crossover. So that's something to look at as well, because then how many is that? 1, 2, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's this one. 6. Where is that? This one became overbought. And then you wait for a crossover, it's overbought again. Right here. Which would have been a loss, obviously. Again, there's still context and things that I need to work out as to why are we entering, when are we entering, what are we looking for. But waiting for a break of structure may be necessary, rather than just randomly entering, because I'm just doing overnight anytime, but that's just looking back in hindsight. That's not what reality, like I'm not trading that in reality. I'm not trading at 4 in the morning. And again, like here, the market can be overbought continuously for quite some time. This is the evening. I only drew this box as a demonstration for yesterday. But yeah, anywho, I don't really have too much to say, except I will be on the charts starting potentially this evening, but also if I am on the charts this evening, we're just trading one contract. And then we'll wait for the morning and we'll just do our same routine again, because yeah, I don't know, it looks like it should be so easy, except it never is. I don't know.